What's up, everyone? I'm going to show you the 6 type of landing pages you can run and test for your brand right now. Let's get into it. The first page you should test is your homepage. So this really acts as a hub for your brand. You know, the two main objectives of a good homepage is to build trust and social proof and act as a hub and funnel your traffic to your other collections and your product pages. So it needs to have good navigation. This is a before and after for a brand. This is an optimized homepage redesign, where before they had a lot of stuff going on, but they didn't have good social proof. They didn't have clear navigation. They had a bunch of CTAs here where they had this search bar. They had all these sets that you could click on. They had a reviews call to action. They had all products call to action, and this image would scroll past. You just have like 5 different buttons that you can click on a screen, and so you end up confused and don't click anything. And so don't just take whatever you see on Twitter, whatever people say. It's like, add you should add this, and it just becomes a mess. And it doesn't work. So you focus on the basics, where you have one banner that's talking about one idea, and then you have clear social proof where they have 200,000 people buying their products, and they don't even say this on their page. So you're missing. This is huge, and you're really missing out. And then you need to have a headline, which they don't really have a clear headline. You don't know what is going on here. This headline acts as a hook, and it also builds social proof, because it's like enticing. Like, I want to know what the German skincare secret is to flawless skin. You kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Then you lay out the information in a clear way. What do you want to know? You highlight the benefits and your unique selling propositions. And then you have a simple call to action. Just says, find your perfect routine. And then some risk reversals underneath. It doesn't clash with the image. The image is its own thing, and the text block is separate from that. And also you have even more social proof, because they were mentioned in all these publications, which they don't even know that on their page. So again, they're missing out a lot of stuff. And so the key clear elements you should focus on here is brand's positioning. So, German secret to flawless skin, along with a bunch of social proof. That's really strong. For example, it could also be Australia's #1 tattoo skincare routine. It doesn't have to be skincare. Obviously, it works for any offer. But really, you want to have clear positioning in terms of copywriting. You want to have full site navigation. So just focus on funneling people further down your funnel. And not having them bounce off of the page. You want to have trust signals, so ratings, social proof, free shipping offers if you have any, or if you have a free shipping threshold, and focus on just having a clean and branded aesthetic. So the layout for this, it will be the hero section, a benefit section, best sellers. So pick out 4 or 5 of your best selling products and just lay them out so people can see them, and obviously have the most bought one be the first one. So just focus on the winners. Have another social proof section. So this will be just reviews or UGC. Then you have product categories. So you can do, shop by, as a skincare example, what they had here is kind of similar, but I would just have it bigger. I would have a 2x2 grid of sets, bestsellers. This is face creams, face gels. So just have different categories that you can funnel people through. All right, then we have the product page, which is one of the most important pages because it is very close to your checkout, which is where the conversions happen. So the product page should be built to handle objections and justify your price for a specific product. So the key elements here are detailed technical specifications. For example, if you were selling a supplement, note, you can note all the vitamins, because this is like a detox capsule, so you can note all the vitamins that go in here into your product. And I've seen like there are brands who don't do this, which is crazy, where you like, I'm not gonna buy something that I am supposed to put into my body, and you don't tell me what it contains, and that's crazy. And so people just click off because it's nuts. You want to have some, again, strong social proof. If you are FDA approved, if you have any testing or certifications, whatever. So this is for supplements, but you do whatever applies in your vertical. Then you want to have optimized product images. So I'll show you another example, but again, very simple. What I like to do, instead of just having an image of the jar on a gray background, you can just say whatever your benefits or unique selling propositions are. So these are basics like premium natural ingredients, non-GMO, vegan friendly. If these are true, people care about this, just add it to your product images. Basically what you want to do is break down each section of your landing page and have each section be an optimized image creative, which I can just show you right now. This is what we did for another brand. This is a weightlifting accessory. So before they had just a bunch of images of this plastic thing, which doesn't really tell you much. But when in the after images, you go like meet the launch pad, which is the name of the product. And then you have the social proof here. You have the unique selling propositions that, this is meant to increase strength, reduce injuries, teach you the correct form for the exercises. You then also have return, you have a risk reversal, so just note what it's useful for, and for like stuff like setup, and you can also add reviews in your pages. And I have a video out on how to actually optimize your images, so you can just check that out if you want more details. I'm going to walk you through how to lay it out. So you want to have a optimized buy box like this, then a list of the product benefits, however many you have. Here, for example, you can do 6. A testimonial section. And so this will be an image of your customers holding your product. Natural ingredients. So for example, it would be for a supplement, say, or if you have a different offer, you can just have a section that basically outlines how your product helps the customer achieve their desired outcome. So this could be how it works section, the process, the science behind it, etc. I also like adding in a comparison table, and just to show you like us versus them, you versus your competition. And then another section for social proof, but this will be a reviews widget. So just whereas these reviews are targeted, and so you want to have each one handle a different objection. The one at the bottom would be all of your reviews that you have, just so people can see, oh, okay, there's so many people bought it. And then you have a FAQ section to handle objections if there are any left. All right, then we have the collections page, which is a bit more interesting now. And its purpose is really just to highlight the different collections you have and squeeze the most amount of AOV you can have. So an example of a redesigned collections page is this. Super busy, and this is super clean. So the layout is simple. You have a banner here. Also highlighted the benefits, call to action, some social proof, and then a 2x2 grid, which looks like this. You want to have clean images here. Maybe if you have something like a bestseller, you can highlight it as that as well. If you have a sale going on, you can also say $10 or however much you're saving. And you want to have a quick add to cart functionality that just by one click, you can add the product to your cart. You can also run this as a build a bundle page. So for example, if you say like add 4 products and you get the 5th one for free, stuff like that, just to really gamify this and increase your AOV. The key elements you want to focus on: strong category, level headline, so bestsellers. Also, one thing that's cool that I've seen a few brands do is if you have whatever, say Kylie Jenner is your influencer that likes your brand, and is like an ambassador of your brand, so you can have a collections landing page built around her, where instead of say this will be Kylie Jenner, or I don't know, Taylor Swift, and it would be like, okay, like Taylor's top picks of our brand, and you can, if your creative is built around that, feature the same imagery on your collections page. All right, then we have the classic offer landing page. Really, the purpose of this is to convert cold traffic and have a irresistible offer. If your customers coming through Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, this is the page to test. Like a simple framework for this: have a banner, have a navigation menu, have a lifestyle image of the product, bullet points for the benefits, social proof, headline, subheadline, and a call to action. So you want to focus on clear CTA, so the entire page is really built around one single focus and selling one single product. For this example, it is this like this cat litter box that cleans itself. So you have a aggressive, pain-focused headline, which is "Say goodbye to scooping forever." Just, this is what cat owners run into, is that you gotta scoop. Have a strong risk reversal if you can have one, and have minimal navigation or distractions. So really, instead of having a full hamburger menu here and a bunch of like stuff that pops out of the side, in the nav bar, you just have one call to action that brings you to the buy box. And this is how you lay out a offer landing page. So the hero section, what I just showed you. Then you have a problem, agitate, solution sections. There's multiple. So you basically go and amplify. So you identify the problem, then you amplify it, and then hint to a solution, which is obviously your product. And you gotta have a really good knowledge of your market and do your homework to build this out so it's actually effective. Then again, social proof, what I showed you. So one's handling objections, have a section that shows your unique mechanism. So, this could be, again, what I showed you here. Either the ingredients, how it works, the science, the process, like just have something that differentiates you from the brands. In some markets, you can get away with having less, but in some more sophisticated ones, you gotta really go hard on this. Yeah, then reveal your product, as a natural solution to all the pains and the problems your customers are facing. Then you have your benefits, so kind of a similar layout as to here, as in the product page. Proof stack, so again, more social proof, UGC, statistics if you've done any surveys, stuff like that. Have your offer module, so kind of focus on a high converting one, like in this example. For a product page, you can just reuse this. You want to also focus on a really strong offer, so something with a risk reversal, for example, with a strong guarantee. Then you have a FAQ section, and then the final call to action. Then we have a listicle. So a listicle is a pre-sale landing page. Basically, you take the cold traffic that's coming in through Meta, for example, and you handle every objection that your customers might have before they hit your product page or your landing page. You can test out, wherever you put it, but usually the conversions don't happen on the listicle. The listicle basically is meant to prime your customers, your visitors, for the other pages that are yet to come. So the key elements here is an intriguing headline. So 5 reasons why, 8 reasons why, 3 reasons, however many you have. It needs to feel and look like a genuine article or a blog post. Have subtle context-driven transitions to the product, so don't have just a hard cut from the reasons to a buyer product. It needs to be a bit more naturally it needs to go to be a bit more natural. And if you have any, so you can do authority and endorsements. So this brand is endorsed by Brian Johnson. All right, here's how you lay out a listicle. So you have your hero, X reasons why, however many you want to have. So X reasons why, call to action, an image here of your product, for example, or something that might agitate the whatever pain your customers are facing. You can add a social proof section, maybe logos or publications you were mentioned in, to build more trust. All right, so for the reasons, real simple, the number of the reason, the item title, your sub headline, and then you have an image of that's relevant to each section. So each item should start with a strong benefits first headline. Explain why the point matters. Insert live proof when possible. So stuff like quotes, data points, testimonials, personal experiences, and it needs to tie back to your core desire or frustration. Again, so it's similar to what I talked about in the problem, agitation, solution section. And then you have a kind of natural funnel into the fact that your product is the solution to all of these reasons. And then you have your product buy box section, your offer block, and in here you can focus on promo offers or having like light urgency, and then this call to action would lead you to your product page or your offer landing page. Then we have the advertorial, which is similar to the listicle because it's also a pre-sale landing page, and it's also written to feel like a blog post, but it's more story driven. And it kind of builds out a narrative of one specific customer, for example, to try out your product. They were facing the same problems, the same pains that your target audience faces, but your product helped them overcome this. So the key elements here are a editorial style format. So date, author, a news-like layout. For example, this is from the Replo library, where you have it's like something that you would click on, on Facebook, and because you just want to know how Joe Rogan gets fired up. So you have the headline, the subheading, the author. They also added a VSL here and a lot of social proof from like social media, and also featured in. And it's also built around Joe Rogan, so that also builds a lot of trust and kind of hooks you into to read further. So the way you lay it out is have this header, which I just showed you here, curiosity headline, so hook people in so they read through it, hook and problem sections, and then like build out a story. So the story section is basically your author, which is your target audience. He just writes like, I was going through these hardships and these issues that people usually face, so that the reader can relate. And then you very neatly pivot into soft selling your product. And then there's a call to action at the end, and then it's your footer. That's the advertorial. So thank you for watching. Let me know if you found this useful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one.